What's up, travellers? Welcome back to the channel. SJ Aviation HQ coming to you with another video for you guys today. This is the model review of the Virgin Atlantic Airways Airbus A330-900neo by GeminiJets. Go ahead and check out the unboxing I did of this video in the top right corner right about now. There'll be a card in the top right corner for you guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel of SJ Aviation HQ, and you like this sort of content, model plane reviews, airport updates, unboxings of model aircraft, and of course infinite flight adventures around the world, go ahead and give this channel a subscribe, and of course ding that bell icon next to the subscribe button to be notified when videos go live on the channel. I have a great bunch of videos coming out very soon. The next model review on this channel will be the Emirates 777-9X that was also in that video that I alluded to a moment ago. If you of course made it into this far into the video, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and show your support in the comment section below, as of course that would help me out moving forward for the channel in the long run. So in this portion of the video I'm going to be reading out some information about Virgin Atlantic Airways as an airline, and then reading out some brief information about this airframe as an aircraft. And then the second part of the video will be the showcasing of the model up close to the camera for you guys. So founded and commencing operations in 1984, Virgin Atlantic Airways is a British airline with hubs at London Gatwick, London Heathrow and Manchester Ringway International Airports. The maiden service for Virgin Atlantic Airways took place between London Gatwick and Newark Liberty International Airports on June the 22nd, 1984. Since then, Virgin Atlantic Airways uses a mixed fleet of Airbus and Boeing wide-body aircraft and operates to destinations within North America and the Caribbean, Africa, the Middle East, and Asia, with seasonal operations from Belfast in Northern Ireland and Edinburgh in Scotland. According to planespotters.net, Virgin Atlantic has an aircraft fleet consisting of 40 aircraft, including 14 Airbus A330s. That makes up 10 A330-300s and 4 of the A330-900neos, with an average fleet age of 8.3 years. And on March the 2nd, 2023, Virgin Atlantic Airways joined the SkyTeam Alliance. So going into some information about that aircraft now that we're looking at today. This aircraft's MSN number or manufacturer serial number is 2018. This aircraft is an Airbus A330-900neo, specifically a 941, because 41 of course is the Airbus designated code for Airbus built aircraft that are equipped with Rolls-Royce engines. This aircraft performed its first flight on August the 12th, 2022. As of today, this aircraft is 0.6 years old. This aircraft wore the test registration of Foxtrot-Whiskey Whiskey Charlie Golf or F-WWCG, for those that aren't too familiar with the phonetic alphabet. This aircraft was built and produced in Toulouse, France. Of course, Toulouse is where the main factory is for where Airbus build their aircraft. Of course, they do have the plant out in Hamburg, Germany. Of course, that is majority for the narrow bodies, more like the A319neo, 320neo, 321neo. The A380 has been produced there in the past, but of course now that the A380 is no longer in production, the main wide bodies are built in Toulouse. Of course, A330neos and of course the A350 wide bodies. That's the 900 and 1000s. But of course, some of the narrow bodies are still being built in Toulouse as well. Fun fact for those that don't know, ATR, the aircraft company that builds the ATR 42 and 72, they also share facilities at in Toulouse, France. So Airbus and ATR both build the aircraft in Toulouse. And this aircraft is currently active on the network of Virgin Atlantic. This aircraft has the registration of Golf-Victor Juliet Alpha Zulu or G-VJAZ. This aircraft again is an Airbus A330-900neo, a 941, again Airbus built aircraft built with or equipped with Rolls-Royce engines. This aircraft was delivered to Virgin Atlantic on October the 13th, 2022. The delivery of this aircraft was filmed live on Big TV. If you haven't heard of them, they are owned by Jerry Dyer. A live streaming platform on YouTube, and what they do is they go to various international airports around the world, and of course domestic airports as well, or regional airports, and of course military bases, and they live stream the whereabouts of what's going on at the airport. Of course, they were in Toulouse on the day of this aircraft's delivery, the Virgin Atlantic. I was actually watching the live stream, and I actually saw this aircraft being delivered to London, which was actually quite an experience. This aircraft here is equipped with two Rolls-Royce Trent 7072 engines, and wears the aircraft name of Billie Holiday. Now, Billie Holiday is an American jazz and swing singer, who was quite famous in the art of jazz and swing genre of music. And this aircraft was ferried between Toulouse and London Heathrow on October the 15th, 2022 on the delivery flight. And of course, as I just mentioned, Big TV was live streaming that delivery. So that's the information out of the way. So let's go ahead and check out this box. So as you can see, it is quite a standard GeminiJets box. At the top left corner we have the GeminiJets logo. On the top right we have "Made for Collectors by Collectors," the trademark slogan for GeminiJets. Moving down in the middle we have the absolutely stunning livery on the A330neo. I mean, I have started to get quite obsessed about this aircraft in terms of the airframe, or this particular aircraft type. A330-900 looks actually absolutely beautiful. But there's something about the Virgin Atlantic livery that suits this aircraft. I mean, Virgin Atlantic, of course, founded by Sir Richard Branson. Sir Richard Branson is an absolute icon to me. One of the pivotal people in aviation. So, and of course, aviation is within my blood. And I mean, Virgin Atlantic, and I mean, it's such an awesome airline. One day, I hope to fly Virgin Atlantic. Probably either I wouldn't mind it being a Dreamliner, but I wouldn't mind it being a 350 or a 330, anything really. But here we have the 2D rendering of this aircraft, absolutely stunning in this livery. And then down here we have the A330-900 titles in white and the Airbus font, and then down here we have the Virgin Atlantic logo and their awesome logo type. Here we have the 1:4 scale die-cast model aircraft titles just there, and here is the look inside tab. So if we put this lid up, this is where the model would be sitting in, and of course up here are some the dimensions of the aircraft, and then further up here is some information about the A330neo, if you can just see that there. Very cool. On the bottom panel we have the GeminiJets logo here, and then moving along we have the 1:4 scale die-cast model and the information about what GeminiJets do as a brand. Must say that they have been getting better in terms of what they do. I kind of feel like it being a famous or a well-known brand, GeminiJets need to kind of be respected in our hobby. Yes, they have made some mistakes in the past, but I mean, who doesn't make mistakes, Here is the GeminiJets logo on the right-hand panel, and here we have the information about where it says the item number, GJVIR 2181. Of course, that being the item number. If this was read out in the phonetic alphabet, it would be Golf Juliet Victor India Romeo 2181. Of course, Victor India Romeo is the ICAO code for Virgin Atlantic, so that's why it's in the item number. Very nice indeed. Here is the 2D rendering again of this aircraft, and below that is the A330-900neo titles. On the back panel we have the A330-900neo in a steep climb, and here is some more information about what GeminiJets do as a brand, as real as it gets. Again, GeminiJets have done very well in the past. Their most recent release with the diversity, I mean, people really need to get off their backs in terms of the diversity, because really, people might say that the release wasn't as diverse as what they were thinking about it being, but I mean, the diversity was there. If you think about it, think about how many continents were touched. About 5 continents, I think, were touched. 4 different scales, and like 3 different product lines. So I mean, the diversity was there. So I think GeminiJets have been doing pretty well of late. Here are the social handles for GeminiJets, their website, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Go ahead and check them out if you haven't done so already. This aircraft was a 2023 release. I believe this was released in January, either January or February. I'll put the correct information at the bottom of the screen now for you guys. And this aircraft was made in China. Of course, China is where GeminiJets gets their products made. Of course, we're having the same agreement as JC Wings. So yeah. You can't always fault GeminiJets for the mistakes that they do. It is pretty hard being, I would imagine, being an American brand, getting their products shipped over from China, of all places, and having to deal with the customer service in terms of, you know, having to check the quality of their models. And I mean, models are usually broken during the transit of the model to the manufacturer, of where then they ship them out. And then, you know, you can't always fault GeminiJets for what they do. So yeah, that is the reading out of the aircraft information and the airline, and of course the showcasing of the box. So let's go ahead and check out the model. And here is the absolutely stunning Virgin Atlantic Airways Airbus A330-900neo by GeminiJets in this absolutely gorgeous livery. Doesn't look absolutely amazing. In this portion of the video, I'm going to be showcasing the model up close to the camera, giving you some nice up close imagery of the details on this model, giving you an overview of what each of the components do for the events of a flight, etc. So sit back and relax, and let's go straight into the model review. First and foremost, zooming in to the model. I do apologise for any unfocusing of this aircraft, but here we have the front portion of the aircraft. If I'm just able to focus on the front of the model for you guys. Here we have the front of the aircraft, the nose cone. Inside that is the weather radar. Now the weather radar has the purpose to detect storms along the flight path and to give the pilots a visual indication of rainfall intensity and the possibility of turbulence. This enables the crew to navigate around any potential hazardous areas along the assigned flight path for the flight. What it does is that it shows the cloud formation in front of them, and any kind of the colors of the intensity of the air that they're flying through. Here we have in the middle of the shot the window wipers on this aircraft, just there in the middle of the shot. And then above that we have the window shields of the cockpit. And then we have the raccoon mask, the iconic raccoon mask that was introduced on the Airbus A350XWB aircraft. Of course, now seen on the modern Airbus aircraft, including the A320neo family. That, of course, is the A319neo, 320neo, and 321neo. Will also be seen on the 318neo if that comes out as an aircraft. Also can be seen on the older variants of the 320ceo families as well, and of course on the older variants of the 330 as well. I have also seen it on the A340-300 for high-flow Malta as well, so that's pretty cool to see. Here we have in the middle of the shot, we can see the pitot tubes. The pitot tubes are used to measure fluid flow velocity when in flight or in movement. Here we have Billie Holiday. That is what the aircraft is, who is the aircraft is named after. Can't quite see it clearly. But here we have where it says that Virgin Atlantic is Britain's flag carrier. And there, of course, is the name Billie Holiday. I'm trying my best to focus on it for you guys. There we go. Here we have the L1 boarding door, the first big boarding door on this aircraft. And here we have the nose gear of the aircraft. Very cool indeed. As you can see, it does roll. There we have in the middle of the shot, we can see the nose gear door just above the strut of the nose gear, with Alpha Zulu on the nose gear. Of course, that is the last two digits of the registration. Very cool indeed. On the top of the aircraft, you can see the first antenna on top of the aircraft, and then just here in the middle of the shot, we can see the AOA sensor, angle of attack sensor, that is used to offer a visual indication of the amount of lift the wings are generating at a given airspeed or angle of bank. And then to the right of that, we can see that the titles, the Virgin Atlantic titles of where it is an A330-900. Of course, NEO standing for new engine option. Of course, this being a new engine variant for the 330. Here we have the very large and glorious typeface of Virgin Atlantic. Doing my best to focus on it for you guys. Let's just zoom out a little bit. How's that? Very cool. I do like the new titles of Virgin Atlantic. It looked ever so great on the 747, the 747-400 that is. I would like to get a 747 by GeminiJets. That would be quite nice to have in my collection, just as a sentimental piece of aviation in that sense. Here we have in the middle of the shot, if I'm just able to focus on it. There we go. The second boarding door. This is the L2 boarding door. Very cool. And then just below here, having real issues focusing on this model. There we go. That is the pitot-static system that is used to determine an aircraft's airspeed, Mach number, altitude, and altitude trend. Very cool indeed. Located just in here, if I'm just able to get into the shot, just there is the landing light or the wing light that is used when the aircraft is just entering the runway and also exiting the runway, basically used in flight when below 10,000 feet. It is a requirement for the pilots to turn on the landing light or the wing light, what I'm showing you at the moment, when within 0 to 10,000 feet when in flight. When above 10,000 feet, they can turn it off if they wish to, but it is also on when the aircraft is landing and also taking off. Here is the number one engine of the Rolls-Royce Trent 7000-72 engine. Looking inside it, looking absolutely fantastic indeed. I love the colour of the nacelle, of course red being my favourite colour. Not being too biased at all. But it is absolutely fantastic. Like, the colouring of it is well done by GeminiJets. And then there we have the Rolls-Royce logo, if I'm just able to focus on it for you guys. Very cool. Here we have this side's landing gear. As you can see, they do roll and they do pivot. This, of course, being the JC Wings mold for the A330. And here is the other one. This one doesn't quite pivot on its strut, but that doesn't really bother me too much. Very cool indeed. And here we have the wing of the A330neo, looking absolutely fantastic. go ahead and check out the model review I did of the Starlux A330neo that was also by in the JC Wings mould. But here we have the red navigation light and the strobe lights. A good indication of noticing or identifying whether an aircraft overhead is an Airbus or a Boeing. If the strobe lights, the white lights at the end of the wings are flashing twice, it is a Airbus. If it is once, it is a Boeing, depending on the aircraft type. And then here we have the iconic A330 Sharklet. Very cool indeed. It does look quite nice on the side. Very cool. And on the interior of the Sharklet is the Virgin Atlantic tail fin logo. Very cool. I do like how the Sharklet is in that red glowing kind of shading colour. Very cool indeed. Sitting in the middle of the screen at the moment, we have the L3 door. This is an emergency exit door on this aircraft. In the event of emergency, the emergency slide would fold out, and that's where the people would be evacuating onto. Here we have the beacon light on the top of the fuselage, looking absolutely nice indeed. Looking forward to seeing Aviation 400's mould of the A330neo and the 3D jewels. Go ahead and check out the model review I did of the Delta Airlines A330-900. Of course, I'm mentioning Delta Airlines as they are a SkyTeam member alongside with Virgin Atlantic. Here we have another antenna on top of the fuselage, and here we have the SATCOM, or the Wi-Fi dome or Wi-Fi box, depending on what you want to call it. This provides the IFE in-flight entertainment on board each of the aircraft. That is situated behind each seat, and the little TV in the behind each seat. Very good indeed. Here we have another little antenna behind that. Here we have the registration of the aircraft, if I'm just able to focus on it for you guys. Golf Dash Victor Juliet Alpha Zulu. Of course, the JAZ being jazz because of Billie Holiday, which of course this aircraft is named after, just there at the front of the aircraft. Was of course a jazz and swing music artist. Very cool indeed. I do like how Virgin Atlantic are quite innovative in the way that they use their registrations. Of course, they recently had delivered Golf Dash Victor Echo India India. Of course, that one being dedicated to Queen Elizabeth II, of course, who passed away last year. Echo India India, or EII. Elizabeth II, quite innovative in saying that. And of course they did recently have the one Golf Dash Victor Tango Oscar Mike for the astronaut Major Tom. Very cool indeed. Very nice to see how they're so innovative with the registrations, as mentioned. And here we have the L4 boarding door, or catering door, depending on what it's being used for when the aircraft is on the apron. This can be used when disembarking, and of course boarding the aircraft via the apron. Very cool. And then here we have the ever so stunning Virgin Atlantic tail fin, looking absolutely outstanding. The lighting has gone a little bit dull at this point in time, but hopefully the sun comes out to play. Of course, looking very, very cool. I love this livery of Virgin Atlantic, looking absolutely fantastic on this aircraft. Suits the A350s, suits the 787s, and of course suited the 747-400 back when they flew them, and of course the 340-300, and of course the 330-200, and how can I not forget how can I not remember? Yeah, how can I forget? There we go, the A340-600 as well. And on the top of the tail fin, we can see Alpha Zulu, the last two digits of the registration. Here we have this side's elevator of the aircraft. You can see just in the center of the shot there, that is the tail light or the logo light. Now that is used to light up the tail fin during night operations or in operations in the early morning, to give a visual indication to the ATC or anyone who's in the control tower, a visual indication of who the airline is. In this case, it would be Virgin Atlantic. And of course, it also could be used as a marketing tool for anyone within or around an airfield when this aircraft is on the whereabouts around the airfield. Of course, either takeoff or landing, to give like someone who is around an airfield the need to be like, hey, we should try out Virgin Atlantic, or try out that airline. So very cool indeed to have that detail on this model. Also another one on the other side. If I'm able to get it into the shot, you can just make it out in the middle of the shot there. Very cool indeed. And then here we have the APU, abbreviated to the auxiliary power unit. Very cool. As you can see, it is closed off. It would be quite cool to see if Aviation 400 have like a little hole for the exhaust. That would be quite cool to see. Let's have a brief look at the other side of this aircraft and the differences on this aircraft. Here we have the right hand side. So all of these doors are known as the R doors. So R1, R2, R3 and R4. This is of course R standing for right and L on the other side standing for left. The only real differences on this side of the aircraft is that we have a baggage hold situated just here. If I'm just able to focus on it for you guys, there we go. Let's just try and zoom in a little bit more. There we go, just there. And then we have the rear baggage compartment located just here, and another little one just there. Very cool indeed. And then there's some, I don't know what this is on the aircraft, whether that is I don't know what that is. A scratch of some sort. Well, it is coming off, so I don't know what that is. But very cool indeed to see this livery on the A330neo. As soon as it was unveiled, I knew I wanted the model of it. So I do now have the 787-9, two A350-1000s, and now the 330-900. Go ahead and check out the model review I did of the A350-1000 by Aviation 400 in the top right corner right about now. Looking absolutely gorgeous in this livery. Here we have the green navigation light on this side of the wing, looking cool indeed. And then here we have the interior of the Sharklet. Do apologize if you heard that truck in the background. One of the perks of living on the main highway of the country. Look at this. This model is absolutely fantastic. Here we have the number 2 engine and the Rolls-Royce logo. Looking fantastic. And there we have the interior of it as well. Looking nice. Let's have a brief look at the underside of the aircraft. Do apologise for any difficulty with the focusing, but here we have the nose gear doors. They would fold out in the event of this aircraft either retracting or putting down the gears. Here we have the very large Virgin Atlantic titles, looking fantastic indeed. There we have the beacon light where the N is of Virgin. Very cool. There's the Stanhope in the second A of Atlantic, and the gears are the gear doors. Here we have the GeminiJets logo, looking very cool indeed. And then here we have the underside of the wing. Let's try and focus on it for you guys. There we go. looking very, very cool indeed. The flaps and the slats, and the forward edge of the wing. There's the bottom of the landing gear and the bottom of the wing, the engine there. And then on this side, the same details, looking fantastic. There's the registration, Golf-Victor Juliet Alpha Zulu, or G-VJAZ, or Z, depending on how you pronounce it. Then the phonetic, and the if you don't understand or aren't too familiar with the phonetic alphabet, some little square there, that could be the tail skid of this aircraft. Not too sure, do let me know in the comment section below if you know what this little square is representing. I do believe it might be the tail skid. And here is the entryway of the APU. Of course, for those who don't know what the tail skid is, if this is the tail skid, that is used to provide a little bit of a cushion to the tailplane of the aircraft. If the tailplane gets a little too close to the runway, the surface of the runway, either in the event of landing or in takeoff, more so in takeoff, because that is, of course, that when the aircraft rotates upwards like this. If I'm able to get it into the shot and give you a, so if once the aircraft rotates like this, the tail skid is giving a little bit of a buffer or a little bit of a cushion to the tail, to the fuselage. Because it's also like a little bulbous that sticks out of the tailplane, to, you know, as I just mentioned, to give a little buffer to the fuselage. And of course there is, as I mentioned, the entryway to the APU, looking absolutely fantastic indeed. So overall, an absolutely fantastic model. I do highly recommend getting this model if you haven't got it in your collection so far. And if you're wondering whether to get it or not, of course Phoenix Models did come out with one as well. They came out with G-VTOM, or Golf-Victor Tango Oscar Mike for Major Tom. Of course, different registration to this one. So, yeah, definitely highly recommend getting this model if you haven't got it in your collection already. In terms of the services to my airport, Astor International Airport, this model is doing, I believe, doing the service between London Heathrow to Astor International Airport via Tampa in Florida. I can't really remember the flight numbers. I will put it in the the bottom left corner of the screen now, just to give you some information. But yeah, thank you very much for coming along and joining me for this model review of the Virgin Atlantic A330neo by GeminiJets. Highly recommend it. As I mentioned before, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. If you enjoyed what you saw, go ahead and comment below what you thought about the video and what I could improve on for my next video of the Emirates 777-9, which should be the next model review coming out very, very soon. If you wish to, go ahead and check out my social links below. Go ahead and check out my Instagram, my Twitter, my airport's website, which is now live on the internet. Go ahead and check that out via a PC or a laptop, as of course the website is not yet compatible for a mobile device. And of course, go ahead and check out my Patreon account if you want to support my channel, and of course my movements on social media even further, of course, including the Instagram page of my airports, my international airports main Instagram page. Go ahead and check out the Patreon account. That of course will lead to helping me out with the expansion of my model airport, and the growth of my model collection, and of course other great plans I have for the projects of my whereabouts on social media. So yeah, thank you very much once again for checking out this video, the model review of the Virgin Atlantic A330-900neo by GeminiJets. Go ahead, smash that like button. Go ahead, comment below what you thought, and of course share this video to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell for future videos coming very, very soon. Unboxings, infinite flight, ventures, and more model reviews, and of course coming very soon, number 19 in terms of airport updates. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see some more, go ahead and check out the on the left hand side, soon enough will be the most recent video on the channel. On the right hand side, soon enough will be the full playlist of model reviews I've done so far on the channel. In the middle is where you can subscribe. But until next time guys, fly safe, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.